I've been getting lots of questions about what's happening in the Lehi, Utah real estate market. This is something I get asked a lot about because this area is extremely popular and it reacts a little bit differently than the rest of the market. I'm going to give you a couple of examples from the past few offers we've actually made on homes in this area over the past couple of weeks. And I'm going to give you an example of what this actually looks like. If you're a buyer in this market, I want to give you a good expectation of what you can actually expect when it comes to purchasing a home here in Lehi. So if you're looking for this type of information, you are in the right spot. My name's Cody, your favorite Utah realtor. If you're a new viewer here, I want to welcome you to the channel. I talk about what it's like to work, eat, sleep, live, and play here along the Wasatch Front. And if you're a returning viewer, thank you for your support along the way. With that being said, we're going to go ahead and jump into my computer here and take a look at some different data sets for what's happening in Lehi. Like I said, this is actually much different than what we see in other markets. So this information is going to be a little bit different compared to what you'd see if you were shopping elsewhere. For the purpose of this video, we're going to be talking about these areas here. So we're talking about the Ranches Golf Club. This is kind of the east end of Eagle Mountain, or maybe more the northeast, I guess you'd say. And then you've got Saratoga Springs right here. We're going to be talking about Lehi, our main city here, and then kind of the west end of Highland and American Fork, right? Kind of the western edge here, over here. So this area here is in extremely high demand. There's a lot of new construction. There's a lot of things happening here in this area. If we actually jump over to this map view, you can see just how much new construction there is, especially right here north of the lake on the west end of Lehi and in Saratoga Springs. There is a lot going on, right? You've got all this farmland down here that is yet to be developed. More here along the river. You've got all this up here in the hillside that's yet to be developed. More up here. You've got this whole development here, and then just this massive amount of farmland right in this area, as well as more here on the hillside. So lots of land still left to be developed, lots of new construction going on, and lots of things you have to know about. If you've been watching some of the other content creators here on YouTube, a lot of them are talking about the national housing market, and that's actually led a lot of people to believe that home prices are just falling across the board and that every market is going through this doom and gloom. However, that's not entirely accurate. There's a lot of markets here in Utah that are still seeing strong demand. Yes, we've seen prices come down, but we're still seeing people out there shopping for homes and wanting to purchase new homes, especially in the new construction. We're going to be releasing some videos about new construction over the next couple of weeks. So if you're interested in that, make sure to subscribe to the channel and check back when we release those, because what we're seeing in that market is absolutely crazy. So that being said, let's go ahead and jump into my computer now and actually take a look at this information. So for the month of January in 2023, right, I'm filming this here in February, but we've got a full month of data here for January 2023. So this is this row right here. You can see that we had 196 home sales, which is down just a little bit actually from January of 2022. Right here, this number was quite a bit lower because of a lack of inventory. There just wasn't a lot of homes to actually sell during that time. However, right here, we're down slightly from that as well, also because there's still a little bit of a lack of inventory, but mostly because of seasonality and the rising interest rates that we've seen. So this is down slightly, but actually not as much as what we've seen in other areas. If we looked at Salt Lake, we looked at Provo, we looked at Ogden, a lot of those areas are experiencing much slower sales across the board. If we come over here and to actually take a look at sales prices, you can see that there's actually quite a bit of variability here. We've seen prices come down more substantially in these areas. So what we're starting to see is that this place got overinflated, home prices went very, very high, and now they've kind of fallen very quickly to get back down to the levels that we're at now. So you can see we actually peaked out here in April at $572,000, and on average, or at least on a median basis, homes were selling for 7% above what they were listed for. So some homes were selling for 5%, some were even 10%. I even saw some that were going for 12 to 15% over the listing price, which is kind of crazy. So with that information, we can actually take a look at this. We had 572,000 right here, and we've actually dropped down to 466. It's looking like it might be lower here in February, but we don't have a full month of data just yet, so we'll have to wait and see how that shakes out. But you can see that we've had over $100,000 price drop on a median basis for prices. We're back here at 466, which actually takes us back to the pricing that we saw in the kind of spring, summer of April of 2021, right? Back here, April 2021, we're at 462. So we're sitting slightly above that, but you could even go back here to March of 2021 and see what pricing was. We still have a long way to go to see where we were at pre-COVID, right? We're down in the 300s, even the low 300s prior to that. So I don't think we'll get that low. I think prices are going to actually start to kind of level off here. And I think that we'll probably see prices hover in the mid 400 range for at least the next couple of months. I'm projecting, I've said this on all my videos, that I think we'll probably see interest rates kind of hover around where they're at. They've actually increased just slightly over the past couple of days. And I think that we'll actually start to see home prices come down another 3 to 5% over the next couple of months. But that's largely going to be dependent on what happens with the overall economy, as well as what happens with those interest rates. At this price point and in these areas, a lot of people are affected by those interest rates, and they just no longer can afford a $500,000, $600,000, $700,000 home, right? They have to be shopping in the 400, maybe even the high 300 range to get the home that they want. So with that being said, you can see that prices have come down substantially. And if you actually take a look at this ratio, you've got a 94% ratio here, which is pretty steady, right? We've been steady for the last 3 months or so. We were a little bit higher right here as the market was starting to shift. We saw a little bit of a lag. Prices dropped pretty substantially going into August. This is when we saw a big jump up in interest rates, and we were at 505, 505, 510. It actually went up. We saw 520 in November, and then it's kind of fallen since then, right? A lot of this is going to be seasonality. I think that across the board, like I said, we'll probably see prices fall again slightly over the next couple of months. The last thing I want to look at here is going to be days on market, which is 44. And then I'm going to give you an example of kind of what we've seen from the past couple of offers we've submitted in this specific area. So days on market is 44. That is higher, but it's still not, 2 or 3 months like we've seen in other markets. So there's not a huge concern there. We're still seeing a lack of inventory in the market, and this is actually helping to keep the days on market for the homes that are being sold at a lower number. So I want to give you a couple of examples of what we're actually seeing out there in the market right now. The last couple offers that I've submitted for clients in this area, we've been negotiating anywhere from 5 to 7% off of the listing price, right? That's been our starting point for going in with an offer. Now we do expect to get countered, and we will see a counter where they'll actually increase the price a little bit, but we're still ending up in that 4 to 5% below the listing price number for a final sales price. That number can be negotiated later on based on an appraisal, based on closing costs, based on inspection items. There's a lot of different things that could come up later on in the process that could actually bring that down slightly. But for the most part, we're seeing somewhere between 4 to 5% on offers. I actually had somebody reach out to me recently who said, "Hey Cody, I just got a job in the area. I'm looking to relocate to the area and I need to make something happen sooner than later." This person actually ended up accepting a job here and wanted to make the move as soon as possible. I recommended that for them and their scenario, now is probably a better time than waiting, 6 to 9 months to see what's going to happen with the market. So we started looking at houses out there. We looked at 5 or 6 homes. We actually ended up making an offer on one that they absolutely loved, and we were able to put things in motion to start working on getting their offer accepted. Once the offer was accepted, we did end up at about 4.5% below the listing price, which is a huge win for them given their scenario. So that being said, this is kind of what's happening in the market. I don't think the Lehi market is going to fall much further. Yes, I said 3 to 5%. I think that's probably pretty realistic, but if you're hoping to get pricing back in the high 300s, I just don't see that happening unless interest rates just go up drastically from where they're at right now. If we start hitting 8, 9, 10% interest rates, then yes, prices could fall below 400,000 on a median basis, but I don't expect that to happen. And again, I've been telling everybody, if you're in this for the long run, if you're looking at holding this home for 5, 10, 15 years, you're going to come out okay. This is a big decision. There's a lot that goes into it, but real estate over the long term does go up. So you still have a lot of security in the market, and there's still a lot of demand out there. One quick note I want to mention on new construction, because I briefly mentioned it before. If you're still watching to this point in the video, you're getting a little bit of a bonus tip here. We've actually seen new construction activity pick up substantially. Numerous builders from Richmond, America, and to Leonard, to Sage, to all these different big builders that are here in the area have started to see home sales actually start to pick up. It seems like a lot of people jumped back into the market in January and said, okay, now's the time to do this. We've got a lot of incentives coming from the builder where we've seen prices come down. Now's the time to actually jump in and take advantage of this. So those buyers are actually getting a pretty good deal. And if you're in the market for new construction, or you're just looking to buy or sell real estate here in Utah, I'd love to be your trusted real estate resource. Please reach out to me, call, text, or email anytime. I love hearing from you guys. I've had people from all across the world reach out, and I cannot wait to hear from you who's watching this video right now. With that being said, guys, thanks for watching. Catch you in the next one.